at the London Design Summit. This is the London Design Awards. Now, last year in 2014, there was a winner of a particular product, and it was you guys picked that up. So we're here 12 months later to hear about your product, which is called the Roadie Tuner. So Sam and Hussein, welcome.
Thank you.
What is the Roadie Tuner, before we get into how it's been going?
So Roadie Tuner is an instrument toolkit that fits in your pocket. The main functionality is to provide perfect and accurate and fast tuning for anything with a guitar machine head, so banjos, mandolins, ukuleles, as well as guitars. But it has an additional layer, which is allowing you to also switch into alternate tunings and keep track of your string quality. So it's kind of like a guitarist toolkit all in one.
Okay, so this is the object?
Yes, this is Roadie.
Okay, and you have an application that goes with it as well?
Correct.
On your iPhone or smartphone?
Yep.
Press a button, stick it on your tuning head, and that's it?
You'll just power it on, light goes blue, and when you're tuning it will go green, and it'll just go bzz, 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 and get your guitar perfectly tuned.
Great, okay. And so when you won last year, Hussein, what stage was this object, this tech at?
We were in pre-production. We hadn't finished our first production run even back then. We had the designs ready, everything. We did our Kickstarter campaign where we raised $180,000, and we won TechCrunch Disrupt Audience Choice Award. So I think that gave us a lot of credentials, and I'm happy that we won the London Design Award. It was a huge boost for us.
What was it that, I suppose, that struck a chord, if I can use a,
One.
Thank you very much, about the technology? Why did it get the attention, I suppose, at the time?
I feel it's solving a real problem. So we're musicians in the company, and we're building products for musicians. And tuning, everybody knows that it's hard work to tune a guitar, even though a lot of people know how to do it. But if you're looking, musicians are craftsmen. They're looking for this huge precision. They're looking for the most beautiful sound out of their instrument. And this actually fed a lot into the design decisions behind Roadie. We didn't want something to come and interfere with their instrument. We wanted to build something that they pull out of their pocket, use it, just half a minute, they're in perfect tune, and they put it back in their bag.
And since that time, 12 months later, or a bit more perhaps, how has the business grown? Sam?
So in that time, we've been...
So can you bring the mic up to you?
Oh, sure. Yeah, in that time period, we've moved just shy of 10,000 units and have been accepted into the ranks of some of the top 10 music resellers in the United States, so your Guitar Centers, Sam Ash, Musician Friend, Full Compass. But the really exciting thing for us is that we're also now moving into other large resellers like B&H Photo and Brookstone. So people are taking notice of Roadie not only in the musician world, but also in the tech world, and the people that want something that's beautiful and functional for their home that they can maybe use as a conversation piece or just as a sort of fan of a robot helper.
I've got a tuner on my iPhone, and I know this is different because it's a little piece of tech, but what makes yours better? After 12 months, you've been in the marketplace, everybody's got access to different ways of tuning their stringed instruments. Why does this work?
So Roadie gives you, well, first of all, in just tuning, it is 3 times more accurate than the human ear can detect. So it's going to give you a better tuning than you may have ever heard.
Speak for yourself.
You're not human.
I'm just teasing. Go on.
But it also allows you to sort of take your craft to the next level by beginning to play in alternate tunings and custom tunings, like tempering or sweetening of your guitar. So you take one string and move it up a few cents, and another string down a few cents, and it gives you your own sound that is unique to your style of play. You can then save it in the app, get back to it very repeatably, and feel like that's now incorporated into your play style rather than something that you just experimented with once and enjoyed very much.
And from a business perspective, what's the process been like for you, Hussein, to get to this point, to get it into, as Sam's been talking about, into all these different really important marketplaces? So what have you guys been learning along the way?
So we're all, so my co-founder and myself, we're both engineers. We don't have a marketing background. We don't have a design background. So with all those things, we've been collaborating with very smart people. And we learned throughout this year a lot about our customer. So you always start with assumptions. You're starting, I think, so I play music this way, so I think a musician would want the product to be this way. But then, because we have about 10,000 customers now, we have conversations with those people. They comment, they leave us Amazon reviews, they talk to our support, and we actually handle support ourselves just for this exact reason. we've learned so much about them, and now we're looking into ways we can make Roadie more useful and take their feedback into consideration when we put out the second and third version on the market.
Okay, so you guys have to you have to continue to innovate not only the product but also how you manage your business.
Correct. And one thing that I wanted to add to what Hassan just said, the fact that we use your smartphone as the brains of the operation means that in that same period of time, the first customer that purchased Roadie Tuner has now received 5 or 6 updates to the app that have added new pieces of functionality and have refined other pieces of functionality that was already there to sort of allow them to experience that trajectory with the company. So while we have wonderful things planned for future hardware roadmap, the current generation of Roadie Tuner is just constantly getting smarter and more valuable in your pocket or in your kit bag.
I think there are other applications for this too, though, isn't there?
Oh,
it's got
I'm
a lot of
sure.
torque, you were saying.
Yeah, well, the motor itself is a 300-to-1 gear ratio, a metal gearbox, so anything that needs to be turned and turned accurately, Roadie may be able to do it. So we're always experimenting and thinking about what other odd things you might be able to play with Roadie to do.
Well, it's good to take a turn in the conversation booth with you. Oh, dear, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Hussein.
Thank you.
Cheers.